All right, guys. Well, this week we're doing a new format, which is we're just sitting across from each other and having a conversation, which I know is like, well, isn't that like the same thing that you guys do every week? But it's really not. It's because we're in different chairs and it feels weird.
It's a new room too.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands. It's a new room.
We're a whole room away from the normal room.
It's
And
I feel far from home.
There's crap strewn everywhere, Tyler.
Wait, no, that I was
No, we
thinking
had this
far
idea
from home.
5 minutes ago, and you've already got. There's things.
Yeah, I reset up our entire podcasting area, ripped everything out of where we were, and now it's just like a bomb went off in this room. And but hey, I'm liking the new format. The main reason for it, if you're listening on audio, is that we're trying to do more video stuff, and I think this just bodes better. Wellifer. It does
Go
good.
on. Yeah.
It does good, okay?
It does gooder.
It does gooder here. So yeah, trying out new format because quite frankly, we're just bored. We just needed to change something.
Tyler was bored.
No, you were bored too.
Eddie, I get stuck in my routines. I need to be dragged out. That's
Yeah.
what Tyler does.
Drag you out of your hole in the ground. I was born in this hole. I'm gonna die in this hole.
I don't like my hole.
This is the way
staying
you
here.
are. Yes,
Yeah.
very curmudgeonly, and I had to beat you with a stick to get you out here.
Yeah, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
I kind of
What are we going to talk about now?
like it.
Do we just talk now? Do we just talk? Like,
It's really the story of this whole office is like, no, you're gonna like it, Eddie. I'm not gonna like it. You're gonna like it, Eddie. I'm not gonna like it.
okay, and then you
You're gonna
finally
like
start liking it.
I kind of this is kind of all right. I kind of
like it.
And then you added a weight room, and I was good.
You- simpleton. So it's true. So basically, what we're doing here is we're switching up the whole kind of format, just to play around a little bit, because the interviews are great. We like the interviews. We've learned a lot, but we feel like we've been beating like a lot of the same drums lately. And so for us, as we're learning, like, we're ready to learn other stuff. We're ready to talk about other stuff. So it doesn't mean that we're not going to do interviews anymore. It's just we're going to just try some new stuff. So if this
Maybe we'll
feels
do
a little bit
interviews here.
different, huh?
Maybe we'll do interviews here.
That's the hope, is that we could actually bring people in and sit with them here and talk to them face to face.
That sounds fun.
That does sound fun.
Yeah.
We did that at a conference, and it's like, I miss it.
It's just a different level of
Yeah.
interaction because you're actually with people. So
We did
And,
that. We did
hey.
that with Nate, like Nate Patrick. You know, we sat down with him when he
Yeah.
came here to town, and that was awesome. Like, we had to go get lunch with him afterwards. It was great. So we just want more of that. You know, doing the podcast via online Zoom, whatever platform,
the
the Riverside. It's good, but you just lose that. I don't know. You lose that cadence. Like when you and I, like, we have a cadence because we're sitting here in the same room,
geez.
right?
You remember when I had COVID last year, and we were trying to do the cast separate? It was a mess, man.
Quite frankly, I don't know how Content Crew does it. Like, because they do it all remote. They never are around a table.
Yeah.
Like, cadence wise, it's amazing to me that they can keep that cadence moving.
The just reading cues, being able to shoot a glance
Yeah.
to know when to move on an interview, like when that went away,
Mm-hmm.
man, there was a learning curve there.
There
So,
really
yeah,
was.
being in rooms just changes the dynamic completely. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Got a few people in mind too. So
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've got a few
Yeah.
people in mind
we
too.
have friends over, man.
Do you think we could get like the
Can we have
president?
friends over? Can
Yeah,
we have friends over?
We can have friends over.
Okay.
We can have friends over.
Oh yeah.
It'd be fun. We could eat nachos and chat and stuff.
I like Doritos.
Or
I like nachos,
fine,
too.
okay, whatever. But
Nachos.
yeah, that's the hope. So if it sounds a little bit different, and if you're watching online, that's basically what's happening right now. Is that we're just changing things up, trying to keep it fresh. The if we could keep it fresh, then we're going to bring better content to you guys, and hopefully you guys just appreciate it more and have more fun, and we have more fun, and it's good for everybody involved. So, Eddie, to kick things off in our inaugural.
Inaugural.
I'm an idiot. Anyway, in our in our inaugural episode.
Keep going.
Don't open that door. All right. We're going to watch something. In other words, Eddie,
this is fun.
I would like to bring something to your attention.
This is a throwback.
This is a throwback.
Back to go forward.
This
I
is
like
where we started. All right.
Okay.
So, all right.
And we have a screen over here. I get to
have a screen,
and
so video for you here. So, and this isn't a funny video. All right. Let me just preface this. This is not a funny video. Not a funny video.
All right.
This is one that is just, how did this happen? So I'm scrolling through Instagram the other day and I come across this. This is by the profile Tools by Design, and there's a guy who got caught on a crane and got lifted.
Is that his hard hat?
Oh yeah, no, his hard hat like falls off and everything. I don't know how in the world this happened.
Well, and
like, does his cuff get caught? Like, what in the world?
No. Like this, no safety vest.
Yeah.
No hard hat. Like, I'm wanting to know, like, where in the world is this?
I think it was Vancouver. Is that right?
Ah, man.
Yeah, no, sorry, Toronto. This happened in Toronto.
What in the world is going down? No,
yeah, so to a rigger hooking a load. At like, dude, yeah, if you listen to the audio, everybody's just cussing up a storm. Rightfully so. I probably would be as well, but like, this is the craziest thing. So
a little bit freaky.
It's a little bit freaky, but it got us thinking about safety.
No harness there. I noticed.
Yeah, no harness.
We're dangling by our hands.
Grief. I need to send this over to Ed Davidson. If you're not following Ed Davidson on LinkedIn, go check him out.
Ed's a good follow. Probably one of my favorites on LinkedIn. Yeah. And I will say this, like, probably one of Dad's favorites on LinkedIn.
Dad watches Ed?
Yeah, which Dad doesn't have too terribly much use for LinkedIn. He's like, I was just kind of humble bragging on there and doing whatever. And I get it. Like, there is a lot of, so proud to say something about the thing I just did.
I'm so proud about my company. And
humbly saying it here in front of everybody. And it just kind of gets weary of that. He's like, But Ed,
I get it.
Ed is like, the content he comes up with, I don't know where he finds everything.
Dude, it's amazing.
He mines some stuff. I'm like, he's gonna run out.
No, he mines.
He just keeps bringing it.
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how he finds. I don't know if people just send him stuff or what.
There's a lot of just bad things that happen out there, though. And it's funny. Like, every once in a while, he'll get a little bit punny with it, and that's funny. And then also, just some of the stuff. Oh, this one was freaky.
So, guy up in a boom lift.
Takes a minute for this to develop, but man, the wind starts blowing. Once it goes, that boom lift's just like, I'm gonna get on out. I'm gonna creep on out. Come on down.
Holy.
The situational awareness thing is something he hits a lot.
Holy crap.
A lot of what's gonna get you out of Dodge. I mean, like, when stuff starts going down, have you been trained to know how to deal with it?
Yeah.
So, and then more than that, like there are a lot of things like,
that is terrifying.
Am I going to get myself into this situation to begin with?
So, all right. So everybody that's listening audio only, so there's this massive like gas station billboard sign, that displays the prices and stuff, and the wind is just blowing it like a sail. This guy was up on a boom lift next to it trying to set it, and it's just running into him. Now the crane's flapping all over the place. Dude, this is insane.
Yeah, the crane operator finally kind of letting the load down. But I mean, which you're like,
all right, everybody.
I don't know what we're waiting for there.
Everybody go clean your pants out now. Like, seriously.
Crazy stuff.
If I'm that guy, I'm like, I'm losing it. That is craziness.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that he shares that I don't. It's very engaging.
There was one with a chainsaw.
This was creepy. I'm immediately like, there better not be a person in there. Yeah, the car just goes down and disappears.
It's just in a sinkhole.
It's just gone. Yeah, the car just hit a sinkhole and leaves the building.
It was just in the parking lot. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, go check out Ed Davidson. He's a good follow on LinkedIn for sure. But in honor of safety, We
oh yes.
So on a certain project that we were involved with, is like a year and a half ago. This isn't like new news, but we just haven't really talked about it.
We did a little video on it where you hit me in the head
video about
with a spud wrench.
I hit you in the head with a spud wrench. Yes, to test how rugged the new hard hats are.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen these. Here, pull it out.
All right.
Pull it out. It's the one that's got the strap. It's the chin strap.
Right. I mean, and I'm gonna put this thing on.
That's the wrong way, Eddie. That's backwards, you freaking moron.
Oh, it's not that way.
It's not that way.
Label in front, people.
Holy crap.
So,
yeah. Anyway.
I did that on purpose.
Huh? Yeah.
I did, definitely.
Okay, so yeah, you got your chin strappy and all that stuff on there.
How do I look?
Oh, you look great,
I look like
man.
A construction man?
You look like
Europeans
a moron.
Are doing this.
That's a great reason to do it.
There are a lot of things that sometimes happen in Europe.
This is true.
I don't understand.
Anyway, Eddie, I can't take you seriously while you're wearing that. I'm sorry. I do not feel good about the new hard hats. I know there are a lot of safety people out there defending
I can get the latch undone so I can get
but
it off
half
my head.
of it is the way it looks. It's a climbing helmet,
I have
right?
no doubt that this thing is
safer
than putting.
Just like your normal.
Especially
this is your newbie hard hat.
Yeah, this is the not even the visitor, because I feel like we've all adopted this pink hard hat for the visitors thing, so they don't run off with it.
Fair enough.
Because people won't, just because of the novelty of a pink thing, run off with it anyway.
Yeah.
But there you go. White hard hat, pretty typical
normal
stuff.
One. Yeah.
Covers up the dome nicely.
So
I know, like, this thing's solid.
We want to do.
It's got air vents.
Yeah, here, let me see it.
See?
We want to see.
It's got a little open and close air vents.
We want to see how strong this thing is, right? So we bought. We didn't buy. We just had a 20-pound sledge laying around. So we're gonna give it a go.
It just so happens.
We have a 20-pound sledgehammer. So Eddie, I'm gonna put it. We're gonna do this safely. I want people to see it on video. So I'm gonna put it right here.
Can you put it there, in front? Will we see it?
No, we won't see it. I'm gonna put it on the ground right here, and then move the table. All right.
Okay, we're gonna move the table.
All right, we're gonna move the table. Hold on.
All right, here we go.
All right, so we're gonna put it there. You're gonna need to stand up to really do this right. Okay.
So,
how much force?
How much force? Are we just starting slow?
I think we start slow and we work. Let's work our way up. Let's see.
A small 20-pound object falling.
Small 20-pound
above your head.
Yeah, that left a mark. Definitely left a mark. Did that leave a dent?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
We do have minor gashes.
Okay, so let's do like 2 feet.
I've got minor back pain too. trying to lift this.
Okay.
About 2 feet.
That's a little higher. Come on. Okay, you actually. All right. So let's do full swing.
Oh, dude. Okay, I've seen this on Ed Davidson.
What? Can we not do full swing?
I'm like, this thing's gonna flip up and hit you in the head.
I don't think it's gonna hit. No, I don't think it's gonna hit me in the head.
Do you think I'm picking up in the mic?
And you might be picking up in the mic. I'm putting it down for you here. I'm making sure that we have it all on. Yeah, go for it. Hold on, wait. Hand me the other hard hat first. Safety first, everybody. Safety first. Hand me the other one. All right. Go for it. Oh, Lord. Do it. Do the thing. Just do it. Don't think. Just go.
What if it shatters and hurts my eyes? I don't have safety goggles.
It's a risk that I'm willing to take. PPE. That's a risk that I'm willing to take, Eddie. It's not going to shatter. It's going to be fine.
Do you know this costs $120?
It was $120 for that piece of crap? Do it. Yes. Yes. It's been sitting in the back. Go. Well, it didn't actually go through. which I didn't really expect it to go through.
It didn't withstand that.
It's broken. So, all right, we found the limitations. Now,
I can guarantee we would have found the limitations of the human skull. because regardless of what just happened with the sledgehammer, that actually worked above that.
Listen, guys, I can assure you this isn't safe. All right, this isn't safe right here. I mean, shoot.
You owe ABSI $120.
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, Construction Brothers owes ABSI $120. It's fine. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine, dude. You just push.
I think we did that because we established it. Nobody would actually wear the orange one on site. So
it's true.
I went with orange because it's kind of it's a thing.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do orange because of the high school.
Okay.
But
Okay. All right. Well, anyway.
Did you get a good shot of the top of that?
Yeah.
Did you show the camera there?
Yeah. It's kind of got a pretty good dent right there. I say a dent. No, it's a crack. It's a full-on crack.
Okay. So in our highly scientific experiment,
yes,
what we would recommend not doing is swinging a 20-pound sledgehammer at your friend's head. Is that fair?
Because that's what we needed to figure out. Next time we do that, we're going to put a watermelon in there. I think that'll make it even more scientific.
Do you think that has any next time left over in it? I mean,
I think we could hit it again.
It could probably take another lick.
It could probably take another lick
or two.
We got to hit the white one next. So maybe we'll save that for next episode.
I'm serious when I say that injured my back. Like, I have a sharp pain in a straight line across the middle of my back.
From swinging a sledgehammer?
No, from picking it up.
From picking up?
Yeah.
From picking up the sledgehammer?
Yeah.
What?
I pulled a muscle.
Bro, you got some medical issues you need to take care of.
I pulled a muscle earlier when I was lifting, and then that re-aggravated it.
Okay. Well, good. All right. Well, that's good to know.
So,
all right.
Looks like we're off for a couple weeks.
All right. So after that highly scientific study that we've performed, today we wanted to talk through owning a business, and then also a little bit of mentorship as well. So I started my business back a year ago now, which is crazy that it's been that long already. Man, how time flies, says everybody, right? There's some stuff that I just wasn't expecting, I think, whenever I started this company. And I think today, Eddie, I just wanted to have a little bit of a therapy session.
Okay.
So do you want to play the therapist, and maybe I can enlighten some people if they're planning on starting a business, some things to expect.
Well, okay. So 1 year later, I can say, congratulations, younger brother, on not having to crawl home to dad, and bigger brother. For income. So
I haven't had to ask for anything.
You have made money and really, thrived in your first year of business. But I would venture to say it hasn't been without some stress, anxiety, and fear.
Holy cow.
So Dad's always described business ownership as a mixture of elation and terror.
It is. I keep going back to that phrase every single day. Like, for one, like, okay, we get a great deal, we sell something, it's awesome, super pumped, super excited. And then it's like terror that, oh crap, now we got to get it all done.
Yeah.
Right. Or it's terror that, oh, cash flow is the other thing that's just been, man, that one's just been eating my lunch lately. I say not that I'm struggling with cash flow. It's that I'm just worried about it. It's like I'm worried about maintaining what I've got, and so it's just naturally like I'm just waking up in the middle of the night thinking about cash flow, which is stuff that I never did before. Like, I was focused on the job.
Cash flow being a fancy way of saying having money.
Well, having money,
having the money on hand to be able to pay yourself, to be able to pay others,
right? To do the payroll thing,
yeah,
right. Like, I gotta pay myself for one, right? And then on top of that, I've got to reinvest in the business.
Subcontractors,
I got to go out and, I got to buy a new camera. I got to buy a new lens, all this other stuff. Like, it's just, it's kind of difficult to plan for. Like, it is and it isn't. And I feel like I had several thousand sitting in a profit and taxes account that I was terrified to touch. Terrified for a solid 6 months.
That was kind of a funny conversation, because you're talking to Stacy, our accountant, and you're like, am I allowed to? Can I use it?
Can I spend that money?
Like, she's like, yeah, you're good, man.
I'm like, oh my gosh! Like, immediately, like hour later, I have like 2 or 3 new things on the way.
All like, right. That's better than $20,
right?
In the old pocket, yeah,
dude. No, it's so weird. Getting used to the tax payments is a big thing, where it's like, I've just always been worried, like, I'm going to be, I'm not even underpaying. I want to make sure I set enough aside that I can cover it when April comes around. I'm not really worried about owing money. That's honestly not a bad move, to owe money. Right. It's just nerve wracking. And that's the thing. I posted this video of it's the scene from Tangled. My daughter Ellie, she was watching Tangled one day. It's the scene where Rapunzel gets down from the tower and she's running around and she's like spinning around a tree, like, this is the best day ever. And then cut to, I am a horrible human being. And then it's like, it cuts to the next scene. I'm never going back. And it's like, I am awful. How dare I? Like, it's just like, it's this wave of emotion constantly when you're running something like this. And I don't know what.
It's just that in this highly profound moment where you're speaking to business owners, you chose the Rapunzel analogy to use. Like,
well, I felt like it was relatable.
I was watching something with my young daughter the other day, and let me tell you what I learned from this Disney movie.
It was relevant
from a princess.
It's relevant. I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, this is really this preaches. Like, this is something that I feel.
It's not that it's not relevant, man. It's just that you chose it. That's all.
Sorry.
Just that you chose it.
Well, it tracks.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
How tall are you?
6'2".
And how much do you weigh?
How about you shut your face? All right? Shut your mouth.
All right, princess.
Let it go.
Wasn't no. Wasn't that the point of that? That in the analogy, you were Rapunzel. So I say again, very well, princess.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Moving on. You finished that analogy.
Analogy done. That's all I'm saying. You got highs, you got lows. That's it. That's when you run a business. That's the way it feels.
Okay. Well, Rapunzel. That's your nickname for the rest of the show.
My nickname is now.
We will vacillate between Rapunzel and Princess.
Oh my gosh! You're welcome. So it's interesting. Just getting used to taxes. Yeah. Finding clients is another thing. That's it's always just it's nerve wracking. That first sale feels really good though. I will say. It's like the first sale. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be $20 and you're like, woohoo, let's go. Like,
was it a consulting gig?
Yeah.
I thought you sold some consulting.
I sold some consulting.
You, like, cartwheels.
That was the other side of it though, is that I thought I was going to do one thing, right, like at the beginning of this year, where it was like, all right, I'm going to consult. And then I flipped it where I'm like, all right, consulting's fine. I'm not going to do it. Because I still think it's good in moderation, but if that was solely what I was doing, I was going to lose my mind, because I like to create things. I like to have something that I can hold or look at the end of the day and say, here is what I did. And so that's the reason that I've kind of flipped the script and said, okay, like, consulting's still a part of the equation, but I'm going to be back into videography and photography and doing more things that are,
all right. Before this turns into a Storybuilder infomercial.
Fair enough. Yeah.
No. I want to take that in case in point. You started your business But you didn't have everything figured out.
I didn't.
Like you had an idea of what you were going to do. You had a notion of how you're going to make money at it.
Yeah.
But we have joked a good bit about how you were just hoping to lock down like a day of taking headshots.
Yeah.
At
right.
one point for the Chamber of Commerce here, which would have been respectable work, but
right.
That was more of a, man, something, anything. I just need some money.
It was funny.
I gotta float the boat.
Well, I went from, photography, videography is where I started. Then I went to consulting, and then I was like, woohoo, best thing ever. And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back to videography and photography. It's like, I think moral of the story is that when you're starting something, give yourself enough, give yourself barriers, right? Like go ahead and pull up the what are the guides on the bowling alley crap, the bumpers. Pull up the bumpers, right? You know you're going in this general direction, but it's okay to kind of bump along the way, especially in that first year where you're trying to figure things out. Like you can do that and still be fine. It's okay if you hop around. And now that a year's over, I'm kind of looking at it going, all right, I've learned some stuff. I like doing this. I don't like doing that for sure. I don't like doing websites. I'm good. I'm good, guys. I don't really like doing websites. So I found what I don't like, but I found kind of my passion too. And it just takes time. And you watched me ping pong around this whole year, I think, a lot. So I do that. I have to weigh it too, where it's like, all right, I don't want to jerk the steering wheel left and right like too much, but I also don't want to beat a dead horse or, ride the horse too long, or whatever analogy you choose to use.
Yeah. I would wager that as time goes by, like you're going to continue to hone that, and you're going to probably do what makes you money.
Fair enough.
So fair enough. As opportunities present themselves, if that is a good opportunity and makes you money, maybe it makes you a little more money than the last thing. Yeah. If you enjoy it, you'll pursue it. Yeah. If you don't know if you enjoy it, you might pursue it to find out. Yeah. And that's been maybe the story this year is you've pursued a few different things. You found out. You found out some likes, dislikes, what you want to do. The cool thing is that the year has afforded you the luxury to do so, because not every bootstrap business startup gets to say, oh, yeah, I get to bounce around, try some different things out. A lot of them really are it's just raw hustle and willpower that gets you through year one. Yeah. And I know, when Dad started ABSI, that was a lot more the case. It was just grit and willpower getting through. Yeah. It didn't just immediately take off and spin up. So,
no, it takes, I think grit is a really good way to put it. Like you have to have a lot of grit when you start a business and be able to take the hits, be able to take the no's. And I'm not going to say that I handled every no well. Like, I mean, there was one weekend where, I thought I had 2 different deals locked in, and that they were like, I was at least thinking one of them was going to go, I was like, all right, I'll give it, 50% of this, like this one's definitely going to go, but this one maybe. And if just one goes, it's fine. They both fell through. And I just, dude, like Sam probably still remembers that day where I like came home and I just was in a slump. It was pits. It was awful. And I had to go back and I listened to that. I think Brian sent it over to us. There's this Jocko rant. It's on YouTube. Yeah. If you look up Jocko Willink, good, that's that got me through that one. It's like, don't know what to do next. Good. Like, you have flexibility, go train, go do something to get better at your craft, and so you just got to put your head down and get through it. But I will say too, like having the mentorship facet kind of pivoting here has been helpful, right? So like you and Dad both have poured into me in the business front of things, and I mean in the life front obviously, but having gone side by side with you guys through growing ABSI, I kind of learned to expect that stuff. So it's really good that I've been able to like look at you guys and just learn lessons along the way.
Yeah.
Before I got to it and did it all myself.
Well, so we were wanting to get to the mentorship conversation, like and just talk through what it looks like, why it's important, stuff like that. So, hey, where'd it go? Like, nice little.
Hey,
but
I did a thing. Yeah, look at that
transition.
Look at that. It was a good transition.
So here we are, and I will say that we've seen mentorship, and I like the symbiotic mentorship. I really like that term.
Yeah.
Where you pair somebody, like you're pairing two different strengths.
Yeah.
And in my mind, a lot of times that's an older person, younger person.
Mm-hmm.
In the tech age, like pairing somebody that has tech savvy with somebody who doesn't. So a younger person with tech savvy, but doesn't have the industry knowledge, with somebody that's older with industry knowledge, but doesn't have the tech savvy. You put the two together, voila, you've got a tech savvy, industry wise person wrapped up in that one. Mm-hmm. They're helping each other.
Yeah.
So we've seen that with like maybe a superintendent and an assistant PM or something like that, project manager in training. And we've seen it work pretty well. And we've tried that here.
Yeah.
Right. So we had Jeff and Lindsay here that we like very pointedly said, hey, guess what, guys? We're sitting you like right next to each other.
Yeah.
Jeff had more of the industry expertise. Lindsay, I mean, it wasn't like some sort of giant tech savvy gap with Jeff. Like he knew his way around the computer and everything, but there were definitely different strengths.
Well, Lindsay was a physics major, and like she knew her way around a computer. Like she's very engineering minded. Like she's very, very
she's
smart.
A gamer.
Yeah. Gamer.
Yeah. So definitely knew her way around the computer. And in some ways was a young person learning a new thing.
Yeah.
While, I mean, Jeff was also learning a new thing. They were both learning steel detailing together.
Yeah.
And so they yoked very well. They really, the personalities jived.
Yeah.
And that whole mentorship relationship went well. The thing about a mentorship is that it should benefit both sides.
Right.
A lot of times we think of mentorship just being like top down. And we think about like the old person just pouring into the young person. Mm-hmm. I think in a good mentorship, there's like kind of a bi-directional benefit. And that is a lot of times the younger person is more excited. Like they've got like that zeal, exuberance, excitement of just being young.
Yeah.
Like this is new, this is cool. And then the person who's been there, they've got that wisdom. They've got that, maybe that staying power. They've got just the time in the seat to know how to ride a wave, how to not get too worked up, how to calm somebody down when they need to be calmed down. Like, it's okay. Like, we're going to get over this. Or, I've seen worse than that. Like, you make an error. Man, I've seen one worse than that. Tell you a little, war story, and on down the road we go. So both sides get benefit. I think we undersell a lot of times the young person's side of the excitement that they bring to the table. It almost like rejuvenates you as a person, as a mentor, where you're like, oh man, what I do really it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they're like, they've got these bright eyes, how I like to describe it, like they're engaged and they're like really wanting to learn. You and I, man, we started out when you were 18. Like you started out, you were under dad, with dad. I say under dad. You were with dad for about a year. And then that flipped and you came over and you and I started working the office together. And it was every day. Yep. I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder every day.
Yep.
We started the office together. We were right there, like literally like desk.
Just
one desk,
just
the
us.
other desk.
Yeah,
like,
just
boom.
us. Yeah.
And then we were building every day. And so it was learning how to work Tekla, learning how to steel detail, learning how to like learn a little bit about finance, learn a little about business, learn a little bit about leadership, management,
a little bit about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, in the process of that, Well, let's see. You and Sam got married. In the process of that, you had children. In the process of that, like there was a lot of life stuff too. But in that process, like you had fresh eyes. There were a lot of things that you were bringing to the table that I just wasn't seeing, and so it was good from both sides. Like it charged me back up because after the 2008, 2009, 2010 doldrums that we had gone through as a company, I needed a little pick me up. I needed a little pep in my step to be able to say, man, I want to re-engage this thing. And come at it.
And so are you saying I'm like an espresso shot?
You were, man. You were an espresso shot for me after I was just kind of feeling like I wanted to go to sleep. No, it kind of breathed new life.
I mean, that's a great way of putting it too, is that, if you pair a younger person with an older person, it puts a little, hopefully it could put a little pep back in the older person's step. And I say older person, like, I mean, you're 13 years older than me, which is really not that much. But I mean,
it was enough.
Yeah. To just re-engage the process and feel good about work again. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Well, and I mean, having somebody to teach is actually something that really makes you feel good.
Gives you purpose.
It brings purpose to your job. It just really makes you feel like I'm doing something bigger than just,
it's kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not just doing just the work. I'm building into a person.
Yeah.
And that really does feel good. And I would say made me more productive as a result.
Yeah.
You do learn too. Like the older mentor, you learn.
Yeah.
You totally learn, because even if you are tech savvy and know a lot of the things they know, you don't have all the experiences they have. So their background and their just the way they look at things, they will have a different perspective, and you're going to get asked questions, and then you got to answer them.
Yeah.
Having to answer questions.
My background in gaming was super helpful, I found.
Oh yeah.
Like even to you, where you're like, oh, I didn't know this or that. Like you could see me doing different moves in Tekla, and you'd be like, wait, whoa, stop. Wait, what? Huh? What? But even then, I still found you doing stuff that I was like, whoa, wait, what did you just do?
Yep.
So, I mean, it worked both ways. We made each other better. I always think Dave Ramsey used this in Financial Peace, but it was talking about two Belgian draft horses being yoked together. And like, one Belgian alone can, tow like 12,000 pounds, something like that. But two can tow something like 40 or 38,000 pounds. It's like, it doesn't just double, it almost like triples their capacity.
Fact check the numbers.
Yeah, fact check the numbers. It was something like that, but it was drastic, right? And just remember that when you yoke two people together and they can work well together, they respect each other, they're able to pull 3 times as much. And I think that often gets overlooked. Like we get put off in our own little area, and like we don't really communicate that much, and we go there and just kind of die.
People start to feel like a nuisance.
Especially
like you hire a bunch of people, maybe you got some turnover that's happened, maybe you've mentored somebody before. Don't lose heart. Find somebody you pour into, and I really do think that goes both ways. If you're on the younger end of that spectrum, I feel like I'm in the bridge years right now. Like I can remember my like new to the career years very well, but coming up on 18 years in industry, like 18 years not in industry, but 18 years doing this at ABSI. And I'm peering over the fence, and I'm seeing why those older guys, air quotes, whatever that means, like why they were the way they were. Right. So I never got why, when I was in the field, I never got why the older guys seemed just like they moved a little slower. I was always like, let's go. They always move a little slower. But then I figured out, like, they've been doing this a long time. They've had to learn to plod.
Their pacing's
They've had to learn to pace.
So
and
dead on.
Yeah, they know what they're going to do in a day.
Yeah.
And you got to learn that a little bit. You got to learn how to continue to show up day in, day out, and make the product happen.
Well, they've found burnout and probably like dialed it back a little bit. Like they went full throttle early on in their career, like a lot of us do. Where it's like I'm working late, I'm showing up early, all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
full throttle, and then you step back and you go, oh my gosh, I've got nothing left to give. Over time, you start to develop that sense of what's a good cadence, what is my pace, and pay attention to that. Pay attention to the older generation and how they work. Like you've talked about this nonstop. It's like the work ethic. We can learn a lot from the generations before us about work ethic, right?
Yeah, I mean the work ethic thing is definitely there. But how we work is there.
How we work, how we consider things before we move forward and work on them. It's something to definitely be in tune with and try to get better at every day. And that was, I don't know, that was something that I feel like, we go back to Dennis nonstop. That was watching him. He knew his cadence. He knows his cadence in detailing. He knows how much he can get done in a day. And the guy, like everybody, all the youngers are like, how does he put out that much? It's like, he's just consistent. And you watch him click. He's not a fast clicker.
I describe him as like a metronome.
He's a metronome. He knows what tempo he goes.
He just stays on his tempo.
Yeah.
And goes. And you have to learn that for sure.
Yeah.
There's something to be said too for somebody showing you something can be done. Something can be done a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of human nature there where I remember watching Unbroken, better yet, reading Unbroken.
That book is so good. Yeah.
The book is very good. And
I felt like the movie was trash in comparison.
Yeah.
Like it was all right.
We say that often.
We do. It was so true though in this case. That book is amazing.
Zamperini was chasing 4.
Yeah.
That 4-minute mile. He was trying to break the 4-minute mile before anybody else did. And it was funny how when the 4-minute mile got broken, it was then, a group of people that came in under 4.
Yeah.
Somebody had to show everybody else it could be done.
Right.
We were close, but there's almost like a mental block. They had to get it.
Yep.
They had to get over that. In our careers and what we do every day, I feel like in a lot of ways, somebody showing you, like, nah, it doesn't take that long.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that like this.
Just do this and this and this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we had the discussion, like, don't make a big deal out of changes. Like, that's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Like you'd whine about it for 20 minutes and then you'd do it for 10.
Yeah. It takes 10 minutes to get the change done and you send it off and
just don't look at it as a big deal and it won't be.
Most of the time it's not.
Yeah.
Most
Mind
of the
over
time
matter.
It's not.
You don't mind, it don't matter.
Yeah. Right. And that, dude, you learn that hard in detailing. Now it's funny whenever I get a change on anything that I produce. It's like, hey, could you, tweak this photo or change this one thing on the video? I'm just like, yeah, totally. Yeah, whatever. No big deal. Like, it's just, I knock it out.
Yeah.
And because I've learned like this isn't an unraveling of an entire project. I think the thing that we were worried about a lot as detailers is like you pull one thread and then whole thing just falls apart as a result of you pulling one thread. And like your numbering just gets thrown up in the air or whatever.
It's a tightly wound ball of yarn.
It is a tightly wound.
You start pulling and it's like, man, you end up, well, maybe it's a tightly wound sweater and you pull it and you got holes. And it's got to be a sweater at the end. You can't leave it with holes.
Yeah.
Good enough is not good enough in detailing. It's detailing. It's got to be perfect.
I learned a lot in detailing, man. Like that was a great training ground. I think one thing I'll say, and on the mentorship front, on the starting a business front, like, don't underestimate where you're at right now and what you're learning. If you one day want to start a business, like, you're probably learning more than you think right now. Like, I look back and I'm like, I learned or developed my eye while detailing. I developed that just attention to detail, while detailing. I can pick up on a lot of different things now. That has been super valuable to me.
It's a blessing and it's a curse.
It's a blessing and it is a blessing and it's a curse for sure. But don't underestimate where you're at right now and what you're learning and what you're picking up on, because it could do you a lot of good later on. You just don't realize it yet.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't had a chance to realize it. So give yourself some time. You're going to get there if you want to start a business. But all right, I think that's a pretty good closing point there, but
let's go ahead and wrap it up.
So, I mean, podcast wise, we're talking about, how I was the espresso shot to Eddie whenever I came on to ABSI's team. And I think what we're trying to do here with this new format is give ourselves an espresso shot of something new, some way to change things up. So okay, we're beating a helmet off to the side here with a sledgehammer. But for one thing, it was fun. I mean, why not?
Fun.
It was pretty fun. Eddie tweaked his back though, so he's going to need to go to the chiropractor. But all things considered, like, we just want to produce a really good product here. We want to produce a really good podcast, right? And I think something that's in order for doing that is to change the scenery, is to change the format, to have some more of these longer conversations that are just, maybe we don't have a complete plan coming in here, and that's all right. I think some episodes are going to be a lot more orderly than others. I think just naturally we're going to kind of tend to be that way, but it's good for me to change things up creativity wise, right? We talked about this a couple weeks ago, where we got to go out for a walk and change things up. This is changing things up for us. So yeah, I'm excited to keep doing this and keep playing around with the format and see what we can come up with.
All right, well, there you go.
All right, guys. Well, hope you have a great rest of your week. Signing off. Go build something awesome.